Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It is Tuesday, September 16th, a little after 7:30 at night, and this is our daily recap video for LFGY. It's YieldMax's crypto industry option income ETF. Before we get into it, I do want to let you know, if you missed it or haven't seen yet, I did get to interview YieldMax's chief strategist, Mr. Michael Coe. I got a video right there. It was over an hour long. We got to talk about all things YieldMax and Ulti, and got to get a better understanding of how things work within the fund. So check that out, but it's not just specific to Ulti. It does have some specific questions, but it gives you a better feel for how things work at YieldMax in general. Also, I'm on X at ETF_Inspector1, posting when videos are premiering and reposting anything related to any of the ETFs that I cover. All right, let's take a look at how the market did today, specifically with LFGY. They are continuing this nice run they've been on. So over today, it was up 1.4%. Over the last week, up 2.3%. Kind of getting back to where we were a month ago. So it's nice to have kind of found that bottom. Not to say that's the forever bottom, but and bounced back nicely overall. All right, as far as the different stocks underlyings within the fund, we'll go over them on the spreadsheet to see how they made out. So after 5:30, we're able to download the intraday trades. LFGY had a pretty decent amount, 60, so not terrible. We input all of those into our spreadsheet, and then we go ahead and crunch the numbers, sort them all out, and we can talk about them. So for starters, they sold some shares of everything they own within the fund. We can do a quick sum to see how much money that collected. That might actually help us with getting a better idea for the dividend. So we've got 5.3 million outstanding shares. So we got that divided by 5.3. Not to say that means anything, but they did sell enough money to come up with 45 cents a share. Generally, that's going to be over because you got to account for it in the event that people buy into the fund tomorrow. So I'm kind of like in my 43.5 cent guesstimate, but maybe somewhere closer to that 40 from the IV estimate. We'll see. So then from there, we're going to have a whole lot of just closing out the options that are associated with the quantity of shares that got sold. So we're not going to go line by line talking about those. But if there was a complete close and roll of a full option position, then we're going to highlight it, and we really only have 2 of those. So we'll get through these trades pretty quick. Bitmine Immersion had to close and roll their sold calls up to a higher strike. That's going to cost them $203,000 on that transaction. And then Hut 8 Corp, same thing, closing and rolling, increasing the strike from 33 up to 37. And that's going to cost $248,000. All of the rest, we do still sum it all up. It's just we're not going to go through line by line, hundreds of dollars at a time. And it resulted in a overall debit on our options trading today of $366,000. That's going to go along with an increase in our share values of just over 4 million. And so that is every day last week plus the first 2 days of this week. Now it is on 7 straight trading days of increasing value. So that's very nice to see. When we take a look at the underlyings within it to see how each one helped to have that effect, we start with Bitmine Immersion. That was up 5.3%. Calls are deep in the money. They closed and rolled them. Bitdeer Technology up 2.8%, taking these $16 calls into the money by 2.3%. Clean Spark was the biggest gainer on the day, up 8.8%. They got to capture most of that before going in the money that last 1.7% on those $11 calls. Coinbase up just over 0.25%. They've got $335 calls sold that are 2.1% out of the money. Core Scientific was down 0.8%. Their $17.50 calls are 8.1% out of the money. I should note that basically everything's expiring this Friday the 19th unless I point out otherwise. Circle Internet Group was up a little over 0.5%, still 6.8% out of the money on those 144s. ETHA down just a hair, 1 cent. $33.50 calls are still almost 1.5% in the money, but it is good that they didn't close them out once they went into the money, because now we are 2 trading days into the week. That means 2 days of time decay coming off of these, so these will be fairly cheaper tomorrow. There's probably a little bit of extra premium in everything right now because of waiting on tomorrow's FOMC decision. Galaxy Digital up 3.4% today. Still have almost 10% of room to run. 35s, that's how far they are out of the money. GameStop up 3.13%. That took their calls into the money by 1.25% at 26. Robinhood up 2.2%. Still another 2.2% to go before they're in the money at those 120s. Hut 8 Corp up 2.4%. Unfortunately, they were already in the money and went further, so all options were closed and rolled. iBit, iShares Bitcoin Trust, no options, just the shares themselves, and they went up 1.3%. Mara Holdings up almost 8%, and they got to capture just about all of it. Just that last 0.17% went into the money on those 1750s, so they got to realize a good bit of that. No transactions were taken, so these are still in play. They will obviously cost a lot more than 15 cents to close tomorrow, but time will tick away. They're really only 3 cents in the money, so we're not in any kind of danger yet. MBTX, we don't own any shares. It's just a call credit spread selling the 280s that are 1.2% out of the money with the closing price of 276, and the put debit spread where we purchased these 255s as a way to make money. They are currently 7.7% out of the money, worth less than $5 million. There was not that long ago when they were worth $7 million. So Mercado Libre up 2.3%. That took these 2355 calls into the money by 1.5%. Strategy up 2.25%. Just barely took these 335s into the money by 9 cents. So again, no action taken, nothing to stress about yet. We'll go ahead and let the time value decay away on those. NU Holdings down 0.16%. $16 calls are 0.7% out of the money. NVIDIA has calls at 182.50. Stock went down today by 1.6%, and these calls are 4.3% out of the money. Opera was the big loser today, going down 1.8%. They've got 20s and 21s sold. The 20s are really all that's important, 4,300 compared to 43 contracts. Those 4,300 are still a 0.5%. Well, now they're a 0.5% out of the money. They came out of the money with today's drop, so it's a good thing that they did not close those yesterday. And the others are 5.5% out of the money. PayPal was down 0.3%. Just about 1% out of the money on those 6750s. Riot Platforms up almost 5%, taking their $17 calls into the money by 2.9%. And finally, Block was up just over 1.5%, and that took their $76 calls 0.25% into the money. So all of those changes, mostly increases, resulted in a $4 million increase in value to the fund. When the day started, it was $190 million, almost 191 assets under management. So that does not include those increases or the or the debits, the losses from the option trading. It also doesn't include whether people bought into or out of the fund today. As far as yesterday, the supply and demand were met with each other, so they didn't have to create any new shares or buy any back. All right, so that is all I have for you. They paid $37.84 last Friday. We are looking for something up over 40 cents tomorrow on Declaration Day. Okay, that's all I have for you. If you want the dad joke of the day, just head on over to the Ulti video. Oh, it should be premiering right now, actually. So good timing. Yep, premiering right now. So I'm going to jump over to the chat on that one. Dad jokes at the end of it. So have a good day. Good luck trading tomorrow, and I'll catch you in the next video.